Welcome back to another toy review. This time it is an X-Men Fox franchise character. I have had no desire really to pick these up en masse. Like, they've released a Logan set and a couple variants of Wolverine, which I noticed have already gone, and here in the UK are being scalped already. Wonderful. I wouldn't mind the X-Men set. It's on my Amazon wishlist, link in description if you're curious. The Charles Xavier and Magneto set. But the ones I did really want were the Deadpool 2 figures, which I've reviewed. Links to them at the end of this video. However, there is one X-Men character I was curious about. Recently for Big Damn Cast, my podcast, which you can find here on YouTube and on Spotify and iTunes and all that good stuff, we've been occasionally continuing a retrospective series of the X-Men film franchise. And having rewatched the first three, and then visited the start of the reboot, the prequel and everything, First Class, I realised that the performer who doesn't get enough credit in this series is Rebecca Romijn, who plays Mystique. She has very little dialogue to work with, and yet is one of the best performances across the series, completely outshining her her successor, Jennifer Lawrence, who is, quite frankly, embarrassingly absent in all of her scenes, especially after First Class. Every appearance after First Class, Jennifer Lawrence looks like she'd rather be anywhere else. Rebecca Romijn, with very little dialogue, not that, yep, absolutely nails it and is incredible. And as a result, has kind of become my, I guess, maybe joint with Nightcrawler, my only favourite character in the film series. It's weird to be like, oh, in the X-Men films, yeah, Mystique's my favourite, but just the first Mystique. So, when I saw that this was one of the Marvel Legends being brought out as part of this sort of limited wave of Fox X-Men characters, I dabbled with it. I was like, if I'm only getting the one character from the X-Men films, is there much point? You know, it's just random to have her on a Todd. Especially because I only really collect the occasional comic book MCU, the occasional comic book Marvel Legend, and a fair amount of MCU Marvel Legends. That seems to be my bag nowadays. But after getting the Deadpool ones, and being incredibly impressed, especially with Domino, how Domino was realised, and wanting to support Hasbro absolutely, you know, nailing the production of a female figure at this point, I was like, maybe now's the time. Plus, I've got the Deadpool 2 figures, so I technically have some pre-Disney Fox X-Men characters, so what's one more to the shelf? Without further ado, look at that packaging, that is lovely. That seems to be a theme with this series, the packaging, sort of this vague silhouette with the great boxed spine shape, silhouette design. It's very cool. It's also nice to compare it to the Deadpool ones, because obviously the Deadpool ones have been graffitied by Deadpool himself. So as you can see, the Deadpool ones were meant to fit the same X-Men mold that Mystique and I presume Wolverine and co have. Let's stop yapping. Let's get to unwrapping. Well, here she is, and just like the Deadpool 2 figures, the quality on this figure is astounding. Like, it's almost like for this limited run, which again comes with a 14+ age recommendation, so these are sort of pushed more toward the adult collectors than kids. They've gone the extra mile. The details on Mystique's skin, like the speckles, the sort of the goosebumps, the sort of scales, as it were, on her skin, the paint application on them, so good. I've not seen any bleeding on this figure at all. Like, wow. Really cool. And weird that this is possible, but you still get sort of mistakes and bleeds and whatnot on figures that, you know, are in outfits, like figures who have got a block colour, you know, jacket or torso, and yet here we are with a character who is effectively like reptilian in texture, and they have nailed it. Only thing that looks kind of odd is obviously the lighter paint application for shading's sake in the thighs does mean that she's kind of wearing booty shorts, but come on, it's not a naked woman, it's a toy. It's come on. Just come on. Mystique comes with a few accessories. As you can see, she's currently got one, which is her spare arm. If I could get her to... Focus, Mystique, focus. What you doing, love? Focus. She comes with a few accessories. Spare arm, which is sort of transforming from the shoulder down, which you can swap with the arm that the figure came with. The arm that the figure came with has a sort of a splayed natural hand, mimicking her sort of coquettish physicality, which also comes with a spare fist hand. She has a fist or a splayed hand option either way. So basically 2 pairs of hands, splayed hand, fist hand, and a second arm to, I guess, demonstrate her shape-shifting ability. Like, it's sort of impossible to make accessories for Mystique that properly show off her power, because you may as well just put a separate action figure in the box, because she changes shape and mimics people's appearance. So, as far as like a display item, that is a very cool way to do it. Like, she's partially transforming from the arm upwards. Articulation. She has little swivel joints on the feet. Very small feet to keep in scale. Great detail. Like, she's got all of her toes and everything detail underneath. So find a way to balance her. I seem to have found a way to have her kind of leaning, putting more pressure on one foot and leaning forward on the other. She has a double knee joint. She has a thigh swivel, which is aided in detail by the scales. So if you wanted to like line them up properly, it's very easy to see where because of the paint apps. Sort of your standard crotch joint. Crunch at the ribs, or just below the breast in this case, quite literally. Swivel joint on the shoulder. The current Marvel Legends elbow joint for female figures and some male figures from time to time. And the wrists do the whole plug in and bend inwards. Her neck is the same as the Deadpool figures. It's a what's it called? Where it's 2 ball joints with a pin between them. So I think that's mostly to accommodate her sweeping hair. But unlike with, say, Negasonic Teenage Warhead or Domino from a couple of angles, and especially, in fact, they've started incorporating this to a lot of the later ones, especially Yelena Belova from the Black Widow range. This is one of those times where the new neck joint doesn't look odd from other angles. Like, Yelena Belova can look a little odd from the side. I'm so impressed by this. This is so, so cool. And the reason why I'm not really moving her around is because I was just trying to find an interesting pose to put the figure in for the video. And now I'm like, I think I've just found the pose. I've just found the pose that she's going to be displayed in on the shelf. Because, like, look at that. The balance. Like, tiny feet, but the figure is so lightweight that she's not tipping herself over. Holy shit. For comparison, but I ain't touching it. This is amazing. Mystique, Marvel Legends, X-Men Limited Wave, based on the Fox X-Men movies. I recommend the hell out of this. And the thing is, it's now made me go, oh, I wish I'd picked up at least one of the Wolverines. If you want to pick up a toy on my wish list, get a shout out and a review and a big old thank you in the next toy video, then the link is down below in the description. You are under no obligation to do so, of course. Don't worry about it. I buy toys for myself all the time and I'll review them as well. Check out some of the other reviews I'll be linked to at the end of this video. And have a great day, everybody. I mean, come on. Come on. Come the heck on. She looks amazing. That's so cool.